Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ongoing Mastery Presenting and Speaking, the podcast, the community, the way of life. I'm Kirsten Rourke,
I'm Kelly Donovan Condren.
and we are your shepherds today on the journey of the life on the road for a speaker, which
Road
is
trip.
where in the world is Kirsten Rourke is pretty much what today's episode is. So you get rid of me for like 5 weeks almost.
No, 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 no. I get to live vicariously through your fabulous adventures.
I like that much better. So, yes, I will be starting in a week and a half, hitting the road and popping on the road and then back and on the road and then back for 5 weeks. And I'm starting beginning of October going to the Adobe Learning Summit 2020 and talking about converting storyboards into e-learning content with Adobe Captivate. So it'll be how you can make e-learning projects, and it's a really fun hour and a half where we're going to take some content and be able to just quickly go make a project and let's see all the bells and whistles we can put in and have fun and then ask questions around it. So it's going to be an adventure. It's always the e-learning summit is all things e-learning and Adobe. There'll be demos, there'll be parties. We're going to hit a concert. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That sounds great.
So there's that, and then I will get on the road and fly from Vegas. Oh, and it is in Vegas at the Mirage. Thank you, Adobe. And I love this because I will get to do my cheesy thing, which is going to the roulette table and having a drink and taking my $50 and seeing how long I can make that $50 last at the roulette
Nice.
table. That's pretty much my job, is just to sit there with a drink and pretend that I'm in a Bond film. It'll be a hell of a lot of fun. Then I'm going to fly to Houston for the thing that I'm doing in Houston. I got my first TEDx. Huzzah!
Yay!
It's so funny. I've been a speaker for a really long time, but I never really, I didn't try the journey of going out to the larger speaker community outside of my L&D bubble. So learning and development for those of you who are not in the know. So that's what that means. So larger speaker community. And then was like, oh, well, if I can get a TEDx, and I know people who've got their second, third, fourth, fifth, and they're like, oh, yes, TEDx, I remember my first. And I hope to get that way someday. And then Kelly can bring me down to earth.
Yes.
But I'm now in the yay, I got one. And I'm going to record a TEDx studio for TEDx Leaf. And the theme is open canvas. So that'll be a
Nice. I
hell of a
like
lot of
that.
fun. I am enjoying the idea for multiple reasons. One, hell, it's going to be fun. Two, I want to stop dreaming this speech. I've been thinking about this speech. I've been performing it in bed. I've been doing it in the shower. I think it's been what, 2 solid months of me covering this material over and over
At
and
least.
over. And it's only 10 minutes long. But oh my, I've gone completely to town on it. So part of me is just grateful that I'm going to be going and making some changes that I can obsess about something else. So then come back, have some time where Kelly and I will be recording some podcasts, doing some interviews, having some fun. I get to
Woo.
be an attendee at a conference that's all virtual for a week. And it
Nice.
will be engaging online presentations that is driven by John Chen. And John is an awesome guy. He's a drink from the fire hose personality. When you're talking with John, you are fully present with John because there's no other option. He's a lot of fun. And I get to be an attendee instead of speaking. So I get to do it's like going to see a master class of chefs and going, what spice are you using? How are you cooking that? Oh, I want to take
Mm.
notes and I'm going to just eat it all up. It's going to be wonderful. Then off to Vegas again.
Yes.
DevLearn. DevLearn is Disneyland for e-learning geeks. It just is. It is the big event of the season. We are all wearing our best outfits and we are ready to dance. And I'll be having a hell of a lot of fun there, seeing all my speaker friends. Yay, speaker friends. And a couple of things. I will be doing a morning buzz. What a morning buzz is facilitating a discussion at 7:30 in the morning. I will be doing a morning buzz. Yes, yes, hold up that cup of coffee. Except in your case, it's tea, but still, caffeinated beverage
Still,
on supporting hybrid and remote workers. So I'll
nice.
be, you know, facilitating that discussion and seeing if we can make some cross connections and have some fun with it. And then my session will be on managing for adaptability. So, managing
Yeah,
either sales or training or presenting teams on how you adjust in the moment and what the things you need to do, how you prepare to be able to adjust in the moment, which is
yeah.
going to be fun. And then come back, unpack, take a shower, have a week, get on the road, go to Orlando, and I'm
Florida.
doing improving your training team's adaptability. So this is a focus very much on, all right, how can your training team structure things? How can they work? What are great ways to, bring in new trainers and upskill, being able to boot camp people so that they're ready, but still have that mentoring piece in there, all of that
Yeah.
component. And that's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. And I get a panel. I'm really looking forward to this one because Mark Britz is director of programming for the e-learning guild, and he's a doll. He's super smart. He's written books. He's done speeches. He's the man, and he's going to be on it. Tony Bowie and Sonia Overstreet, and we are all going to
Oh,
be talking about advancing learning leadership career tips and best practices. So we're going to be just giving our thoughts on as a learning person, as a learning leader, how are you going to be moving forward? What can you do to grow? And that kind of ties in with what we're doing here,
yeah,
ongoing mastery. It's all about your
definitely.
growth. So in our case, it's very much presenting and speaking focused, but there it's learning leadership focused. So very much learning and development. So it's
I
going to
love that
be
there's a whole
a
panel
fun.
on that.
Yeah, it's great. Well, Mark does great panels. I'm really, really thrilled to be on a panel with him because it's a lot of fun. He's a sharp cookie. And it's always nice because the last panel I did with him, the other people that were on it, I'm now connected with through LinkedIn. And
Awesome.
again, when there's the people who are just, they're so sharp, so on their game, they have a depth of knowledge that you're looking at and going, ooh, that's really cool. Let me go dive in there. So it's great because you get to meet new cool people and talk about fun
Yeah.
things. So life on the road, that is what's
Yeah.
going on.
I appreciate that you're going to be talking about kind of the same through line, but just still different aspects for different audiences of the work that we're doing. And it's not the same thing, right? As you come to each of
Yep.
the audiences, you'll adjust in the moment a little bit. Um, I kind of want to hear how two separate Vegas trips go so close together, yet for different groups. I think that'd be an interesting compare and contrast exercise.
Well, the first one, thank you, Adobe. I will be at the Mirage. Yay. The second one, I will be working at the Mirage, but I will be staying off the strip in what I can afford down the street at a very nice little, place that my husband's hotel points cover. It'll be a very different experience, but the audiences, yeah, it's what I love about the work that we do is when we're working with coaching clients for the first time, often it's a surprise to people that our belief is that every time you present or speak or train, every one of those is a unique event because the
Yeah.
people that are there determine how it goes. So
Hmm.
even if you have set content, that flow and the flex and how you phrase things and where you put the emphasis and all of that is going to be different because you have different people that you're working with and
Yeah.
you're getting responses back from them. So it's a dance and you're dancing with different partners each time.
And the
So,
connections from the other content of the conference you're at right now is going to be different. So people are going to
yep.
pick up on different threads of what it is you're delivering.
Yeah, I will be taking notes during the keynote sessions and, seeing if I can incorporate them into the through line. Always asking people kind of what they're getting from the material, what they're getting from the conference, kind of
Yeah.
what their needs are, and really flexing. Again, everything is about you have your core material, you prep it cold, you prep it till you know it in your sleep, but then you have it in pieces so that it can adapt and you can take a piece out or you can flex it or you can go ahead and do this one first and you can compress or expand as you need to. So once you've got that, then it's really the performance in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's the way I like to work and that's the way I love to help other people work is it makes it a lot more fun than what used to happen when I was
Yeah.
a younger trainer. I would teach I remember seeing Outlook show up on my calendar for teaching usually was the oh no moment because at that point, I was new enough that I didn't know that I was supposed to be working with the audience, with my students, and having it flex and
Mhm.
dance with them. So I was doing a lot of talking at them. I was doing a lot of quote unquote
Oh,
training, which isn't. I was
oh
lecturing.
no.
And this is why we were on a conversation, you and I, Kelly, recently on Innovation Women
Yeah.
when one of our friends was talking about training being delivering content in lecture and I started shaking my head going no 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 and she pinged me afterwards and said I want to talk with you, what was that about? So we're going to get on a call and we'd be like yeah sorry, bad training is like that. That's
Yeah.
bad training. Bad training is your content doesn't change regardless of who's in the room. The people in the room just have to deal, like they have to
Yeah.
flex. And I was taught that way. I was taught that the students are going to have to kind of meet the material, and that's not how humans learn. That's
Yeah.
not how it works. You have to. There is a give and take. You have to flex, and if you need to get people to a certain place, you've got to have their cooperation to make that happen.
Mhm.
So I remember that early on that it was like I was teaching an Outlook class and I think I was at like the Federal Reserve in Boston teaching either Outlook or Lotus Notes or something, but it was now we're going to send an email and we're going to click this button. Wait, have we done this part before? And I had to ask because I honestly couldn't remember because I'd done the same thing 14 times in the last 12 days.
Oh my
And it
god.
was
It's
like,
terrible.
oh, please. So I used to have to take notes and tick off when I'd covered stuff because I was covering the same thing the same way. I had the jokes in the same place. And
Be
oh my God, if I could go back to my old self and be like, no, no, you're doing it wrong. But
yeah.
that's how we learn, we grow. So,
I used to, when I first started teaching, I had a really highly scripted set of notes for how I wanted to get through whatever we were doing that day. And I teach multiple sections of the same class. And so there's a need to be consistent across the three sections, but it was really tight and it was less fun. And now we're doing Jekyll and Hyde this week. I have sticky notes and I'll just turn to a page and be like, hmm, what did I write down on this page? Let's look. Right. And it's just much better. Or someone will stop me and say, but I want to back up to something on the page just before that. All right, like fine, let's go there.
mhm.
And it's just a much more interesting way to do the same things. We get to the same place. It just takes different paths and it's a much more engaging class that way.
Yeah, what I'm finding is I occasionally will see a presenter or trainer who gets thrown by the fact that either they're not getting feedback from the audience or they're not getting people connecting to the material in the way that
Mm,
they intended. And I see that frustration and I see that, the clenching of the jaw and the breathing that tells you that they actually are pissed off at you, but
yeah.
they're being okay, well, let's go back and talk about that. And that for me is yeah, if you prepped your material so that it was modular and themed and able to cross connect, this wouldn't bite you in the butt the way it is.
Oh,
But
yeah.
unfortunately, that's not the typical way of doing it. And it's always painful to kind of be in the audience or in the back room for that. you know, doing the Zoom producing thing and kind of going, please stop. It's, oh, it hurts. So the theme, the theme in all of this ongoing mastery, you're always growing, you're always learning, you're always improving, you're never done.
Yep.
The time you think you're done with your material means you've killed it. If
Yep.
you're ever completely 100% done with it and I never need to work on that again, great. You've just buried it. Awesome.
You just stop
Um,
growing when you're dead.
yeah. I mean, my speech coach, Tim David, says that your keynotes, you never stop working on your keynote unless you want your keynote to suddenly start sucking, in which case you can stop working on it because then
Sure.
you've killed it and it'll suddenly have no life. But you have to
Hmm.
keep always being current with, well, okay, what could I refine? What could I do? How could I, flex or dance or do this? And now, we didn't have it as much when I started, but now there's all sorts of bells and whistles you can pull in.
Hmm.
And putting up a QR code on the projection behind you and having everyone on their phones go to that and open up a page and give you feedback and then build a word cloud on the screen and be
Love
talking
that.
about, okay, this is what everybody thinks. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of fun that in 1998 it's like that would have seemed more like, what are you doing? And now I'm like, oh cool. Ah, that's fun. I like it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Alrighty. I think that that's pretty much the topic for today. We've kind of
Yeah.
covered life on the road, where in the world is Kirsten Rourke, and then how it's all about ongoing mastery. It's all about enhancing your craft. Please come find us on all the socials. And for those of you who were with us in season one, thank you for coming back. In season two, we are now doing video. So we will be up on YouTube and we will also still be doing the audio version that is going out through Spotify and Apple and all of the others. So we're enhancing our delivery a little bit. So,
And we have our LinkedIn group, Ongoing Mastery Presenting and Speaking Community. Find us there, leave some comments, tell us where Kirsten should go in Vegas.
yes. Yeah. In Vegas specifically. Please don't just say where I should go because believe me, I've gotten that feedback. So, specifically in Vegas. All right. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next time. Have a good one.
Cheers.